Imagine driving to class on I-40. Traffic stops, you see brake lights ahead, but you don't really know why. So you spend a lot of time on the road, but you don't really know what happens behind the scenes for the responders that are going to those incidents. That's where traffic management centers come into play. Traffic management centers, or TMCs, detect problems on the roadway, they coordinate responses, and they improve safety and mobility for everybody on the road. You're going to hear me talk a lot about some data referenced from the North Carolina Department of Transportation, the Transportation Systems Mobility Organization, the Federal Highway Administration, and Texas A&M's Transportation Institute. See, they're subject matter experts on it, but I am also a subject matter expert because I'm an operations supervisor for the statewide Transportation Operations Center hosted by the North Carolina Department of Transportation. So I see this on a first-hand basis. During the presentation, I'm going to talk about how traffic management centers detect and monitor roadway conditions in North Carolina, how traffic management centers coordinate incident response, and how traffic management centers improve safety and mobility for everyone. So the first thing we have to set up is the scale. How large is the operation? Well, North Carolina has about 80,000 miles of state-maintained roadway. And you might be interested to know that that's second in the nation, only losing to Texas. That's a lot of state-maintained roadway. That's a lot for people to manage, a lot for people to watch, and a lot of response to ground to cover for these transportation services. That's where we come into play. So to monitor all of this, the first thing that we have approximately 1,400 closed circuit cameras that are live stream only that monitor all of the roadway conditions in the monitoring areas. They do predominantly monitor interstates and US routes, but we do have some on some smaller routes as well that are highly traveled. In addition to that, per the 2023 Transportation System and Mobility Organization annual report, in 2023, we as a state managed 25,500 incidents approximately and displayed 138,500 messages on the overhead message signs called dynamic message signs. Now that I've talked about how TMCs detect and monitor, I will show you how they coordinate incidents as well. The first thing that we do is we coordinate our transportation resources. These are the resources that are internal to us. We have what we call IMAP drivers, or Incident Management Assistance Patrol drivers. Per the NCDOT, hosted by transportationops.org, IMAP drivers stop on 60,000 stops annually. Now, to clarify, IMAP drivers can do a lot of things. They can give you fuel, they can change your tire, they can provide first aid if you're injured, they can provide traffic control, they can take you up to the next exit because you need a tire from a tire shop because you don't have a spare tire. They can provide a multitude of services and provide those freely to anybody traveling through the state. We also partner with what we call our partnering agencies. So that would be law enforcement officers, particularly Highway Patrol is one of our biggest partners, fire departments, EMS, and North Carolina Emergency Management. We use a system called computer-aided dispatch. This is the system that was created for first responding dispatchers to manage their incidents and put information and display it all for their first responders. We now share that information. Per the Federal Highway Administration, sharing of the CAD reduces both the time that it takes for responders to get to a scene and the time that it takes for them to clear the scene. Now that I've talked about how TMCs coordinate responses, now I'm going to show you how they improve safety and mobility for everyone. Tying into that response time, secondary crashes are one of the hardest things for us to look at. So when a secondary crash occurs, that's when a crash occurs because there's already another incident ongoing blocking the roadway. So that secondary, as we call it, occurs. Per the Federal Highway Administration, for every minute that there is a lane closing incident, there's an incident in the roadway, the probability of a secondary crash occurring increases by 2.8%. In my experience, a lot of fatal crashes occur not because of the primary crash, but because of the secondaries. It's our job to keep traffic flowing. That's our primary function, to keep traffic flowing and keep people safe. Per Texas A&M's Transportation Institute, TMCs reduce delays and increase highway speeds through the use of intelligent transportation systems. What this looks like the cameras that we talked about. This looks like the dynamic message signs that we talked about previously. This looks like speed monitoring systems and other various detection methods that help us help the motorist on a daily basis. To sum it all up, TMCs play a critical role in detection, coordination, and safety for everybody. Now, we've explored how TMCs monitor 80,000 miles of roadway in North Carolina. They coordinate response for everyone, and they use technology for safety and mobility to keep everyone safe and traffic flowing. So the next time you encounter a delay, remember that there is a network of personnel working behind the scenes every single day, 24/7, to keep traffic flowing. So with the drivers, incidents begin with the brake lights. But for TMCs, those same incidents begin with cameras, communication, coordination, and a commitment to your safety. Thank you.